That is one hell of a win for the Sacramento Kings. What an effort tonight. A 43-point third quarter. They beat the Cavaliers, who came in 56-12. And I'll tell you, Devin Carter with his best game as a professional. No Levine, no Sabonis, no Laravia. It did not matter. Sacramento in a slugfest in the final 5 minutes, back and forth, and the Kings prevail, making their free throws when they had to, making the clutch baskets, getting the stop when they needed it, 123-119.
All over the floor, nothing but absolute effort out there.
Yep.
Team effort, ball movement. Grant, there's a number we float around here, which is 28 assists that the Kings need to win a ball game. Spot freaking on tonight. That's exactly where the Kings end up. 20.
Yeah, and only 11 turnovers.
28 assists, 11 turnovers. The third quarter was beautiful, and I think this speaks to, if anything, for Doug Christie, speaks to ball movement. Put this tape into the VCR, whatever you put it into these days, the computer, because look at how diversified the scoring was over the third quarter. Everybody stepped up, from Keon Ellis to Keegan Murray to Devin Carter. Where do you put this?
19-2 run?
It was a 19-2 run overall over a 6-minute period. It was a 28-6 run. But where do you put this season in terms of signature wins?
Number 2 behind Boston, because you won at Boston. This is, one of the best teams in the NBA. Yes, they played last night. Yes, they didn't have Darius Garland, but guess what? The Kings didn't have 3 key players and 2 starters in Levine and Sabonis. So to me, that's equal. I put it right behind Boston. What about you?
Yeah, I think I put it right there. I might put it ahead of Boston, to be quite honest with you, because this was a different group that's blending in. That group in Boston had been together for 2.5 years. And to the Kings' credit, Grant, they took the Cavs out of things that they do well, the three-point shooting. They took them away from it a little bit. Also, points off of turnovers. The Kings were fantastic with that.
Awesome.
They kept them off the boards, the offensive boards. So hell of a win, Sacramento. Celebrate
Absolutely. That. And now this homestand looks a lot different, because you have the Bulls, who are also, like Sacramento, playing their third game in 4 nights tomorrow, all on the road. And so, they're going to be tired. They lost tonight in Phoenix, by the way. The final score in that game was 127-121. The Suns prevail. So you have 2 teams that are going to be a little fatigued. Now, if you do get Levine and Laravia back, they'll be fresh. All right. Laravia was sick, did not play. Levine out with personal reasons. But you got a chance to go 3-0 on a homestand, where we thought, in best case scenario, 4 wins, more likely 3 wins, worst case scenario, 1 or 2 wins. You got a chance now to really do something.
Do the Kings win this game with Levine?
That's a fabulous question. It depends which Zach Levine we're getting. You'd have to tell me which Levine.
I would say a middle of the road with Levine. I'm speaking strictly from an offensive standpoint in the ball movement. Do they win this game?
Probably not. We'll never know, but
we won't.
You got to be proud for those guys that competed tonight. They played their asses off. And the fans responded. That was a big-time game. Big time.
Yeah, probably the game of the year at the Golden One Center today,
I would
hands
think so.
down.
I think so, yes.
Yeah, and the Kings, 7 for 10 in the third quarter from beyond the three-point line.
Yeah,
7 for 10.
And what do we always talk about when they lose? We talk about the three-point shooting of the Kings and the opposition three-point shooting. And tonight, the three-point shooting was beautiful, 45%, 16 of 35. Whereas the Cavaliers were 38%. So, I mean, that's big time right there. That's big time shooting. Big time.
And also, right in the face of length, the big thing that everybody says bothers this Kings team. The Kings did not always have great looks. They made very good shots. There was some great shot making in this one.
And
so
how about the free throws? Kings only missed 1, 15 of 16. And in the fourth quarter, when you needed them, you made them. That's huge.
Yep. Were you thinking in that possession where Malik Monk got to the free throw line, Kings up 2, Doug had 2 timeouts, were you thinking timeout, or did you like letting them play?
No, I like letting them play there. I was a little nervous when Malik went to the free throw line, just based on last year. And in crunch situations, missing free throws at the end of games. So I was happy to see him get up and make both of those in a real key situation.
Yep, no doubt about it. We're here for you. So get on the phones. We've already got people in line. We'll be here taking your calls all night. Who wants to set the tone? Who should we let set the tone? Grant?
You drive the ship, baby. Let's go. You choose.
Okay. This guy, he's always polarizing. We'll see how he does. PK, what's up, man?
How you like them apples? This felt good, boys. How you guys doing?
What's happening?
PK, these apples will taste a lot better if you take care of the Bulls tomorrow night.
You know what? I'm gonna sleep good tonight, regardless of them Bulls tomorrow. I just want to say, listen, great effort. At certain times, towards the end, I think everyone, even in the stands, were sitting like on pins and needles. I think everyone kind of like watching it was on pins and needles, just trying to make sure we don't screw this up at the end. But I think they did a great job. Sabonis was missed for sure, and I think what I took away mostly from this game, I'm glad that Carter found kind of his place here, and I hope that Christie plays him sort of like Jose Alvarado ish, like what Pelicans do.
Whoa.
Yeah, we got to put the brakes on a little bit there.
No, but I'm saying like someone who presses, someone who we're not looking for a 3-point shooter, but someone who's out there with effort and who is fast and who's just there to just press the ball a lot.
So PK, this is what Devin Carter is. And even if you go back to his college film, it's what he was there. It's getting ways to get him downhill. It's getting him in motion. It's the explosiveness, crashing the boards, giving him some space. What Devin Carter is not, Grant, is throwing him the ball with 8 seconds left on the shot clock and asking him to make a play.
True.
Or to ask him to bring the ball up with full press, coverage. That's not his game. And tonight he was put in those positions. So it's up to the coaching staff to continue to find those positions for Devin.
Yeah.
No
but
question.
On defense, also, he was finding his way between those lanes, those passing lanes, also tipping some balls, and he was kind of like a pest.
They don't win the game without Devin Carter.
No.
They don't win this game without him.
No. If I'm Devin Carter, I am on Keon Ellis's hip because Keon Ellis is one of the hardest guys in the NBA to screen. He's elusive. Yeah. Devin Carter can be the same thing. The difference is Devin Carter can blow up a screen a little bit better than I think Keon can. Yeah. So that could be a very dangerous combination.
Yeah, but they did a great job, and congratulations to you guys. And I'm gonna let everybody else talk. And
thank you, buddy.
You guys are doing a great job.
Thank you for being a leadoff man. You know, if you told me at halftime the Kings would score 76 points in the second half, I would have said, all right, let's make some wagers on this because I need some money. Think about that.
100%.
I mean, based on what I saw in the first, I didn't think they would score 100 tonight.
Okay, so I was talking with somebody before we came to air, and I said, this is a game the Kings win maybe 1 in 10 times if they're healthy.
Yep.
With this unit, what would you put it at? 1 in 20, 1 in 25?
No, I would probably say 1 in 10 because the Cavaliers did play last night, and they were without their all-star point guard, so that would lower the odds a little bit. I mean, if you had told me the Cavaliers had a night off and had their all-star point guard, then I would put 1 in 25 with this group, maybe 1 in 50. But, the fact that they played last night and, did not have their point guard, their all-star, I would say I'd give them a 10% chance.
Yeah, I had a source tell me the Cavs were really dizzy from the camera angles and it affected their shooting. So maybe it did work out after all.
Maybe it did, right? Yeah.
Just joking. Not a real source. Let's go to Essie. What's up tonight, Essie?
Hey, what's up, guys? I want to say in the first quarter, when we were down, it was like 7-20 or something like that. We're down double digits. I think everyone in the 916 was pissed off at Vantage Point. I don't know if you guys are watching the Kings stream, but the Vantage Point was just ridiculous. It was nosebleed views and then views from like the AAA row where there was like people getting up in front of the cameras. It was miserable. But I think what changed the tone of the game was that dunk by Devin Carter, pass by Malik. And after that, the sense I got out of this game is that, and this team is that the reason they're winning. And by the way, I told my brother before the game, if the Clippers can beat them, we can beat them. Okay, they're not. It's not impossible to beat them. And the Kings just feel like if you were to compare it to like a pizza, when they have their starting five, it's just too much pizza sauce. It's just too much offense, not enough defense. So with the type of players that we're playing tonight, they're a little bit more defense oriented, and that just
Balance.
shows you. That just shows you when we have more defensive intensity from the minutes that our players are on the court, what we can do. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Job,
Good phone
Bessie.
call. Listen, it's hard to believe that the team that we've watched the last 2 games is the same team we just watched for the previous 4 games.
Well, it's not the same team.
Well, what's different? I mean, it is the same team.
Well, you don't have Sabonis. You don't have Levine. You're forced to play a different style of basketball. The ball by default has to move with this group.
You had Levine. You had Levine in the Memphis game, and you had Sabonis until the third quarter.
Right, but to me, it just what Essie said. The balance changes, Grant. The balance completely changes, in my opinion. So
here's what I think. I think the key to the Kings playing well is Malik Monk, and when Monk plays well, the Kings normally win or are right in the game.
Yeah.
Malik has had a really down season since being moved in for Fox as the point guard. He has not played well. He's played well on this homestand. He was very, very effective against Memphis, and he was very good tonight.
This is one of the first games that I can remember him playing this effective without Sabonis on the floor, because usually that's bread and butter. Those two go together.
Yeah. So the Bulls tomorrow, let's see if they can keep it going. There's no reason why they can't beat the Bulls, who are also on a back-to-back and traveling and playing 3 games in 4 nights.
Yep. Insane that the Kings, without Sabonis, are +6 on the offensive boards tonight over the Cavaliers. Incredible stuff. Jay, what's going on tonight, buddy?
How you guys doing?
Excellent.
How are you?
Good. I'm good. I was tuning into the pregame show, and you guys were taking the scores and how the game would go.
Yep.
And you guys are pretty on par with the bettors. ESPN Bet had us at a 25% chance to win tonight. But I'm always optimistic, and I knew someone was going to rise to the occasion tonight. I had a feeling when that normally happens with teams. There's someone who's going to rise to the occasion and take full advantage of the opportunity that's in front of them. And for me, I thought that was going to be Keon Ellis or Keegan Murray, or a combination of both, and they were going to have pretty solid games, which they did, to be fair. But nobody, including myself, would have guessed Devin Carter would have had the best game of his career so far. And, it's a 16-point performance, right? It's not like spectacular. But from what we've seen from him this season, that was great, from what he's been doing in the past. And tonight, I think it just goes to show also the 3 games in 4 days or whatever it is, coming off a back-to-back is tough for any team. And I thought that kind of gave us a shot. Darius Garland not playing, I still think the Cavs are a good team without him. I mean, they took us to the deep end tonight, all the way to the last buzzer pretty much. So I knew that they were a tough, talented team. But I think tonight's game just goes to show how deep this Western Conference is. There's a whole bunch of Eastern Conference teams on their schedule. They play these teams 4 times a year, 4 times a year. You can't underestimate it. Just because it says we're a 9 seed in the West, you can't underestimate that either. This Western Conference is no joke over there in the East.
No question about it.
Exactly.
It's much deeper than the East. There's no argument there. It's amazing to me the impact of 3 games in 4 nights has. We talk about it with Sacramento all the time because, we follow the Kings. But when you look around the league, it's just incredible the impact that has on a team. It is a huge factor.
Factoring in you're not sleeping in your own bed, you have the time zone. I mean, Grant, you've traveled with teams, so know it probably takes a toll on you, and you're not even playing.
They were in the East Coast to start this swing because they were playing Orlando, and then they so that's the Eastern time zone. Cleveland and Orlando, same time zone, and then they come out to start a West Coast trip. Yeah, it does take a toll. But all teams go through it. It's part of the program.
You know, go ahead, Ryno. Go ahead.
You know, I was just going to say it's a good point with the 3 games in 4 nights. Cleveland is one of the deepest teams in the league. Sacramento's bench considered one of the weaker. The Kings bench outscores them 36-28 tonight. And you have 7 guys for the Kings in double digits.
Yep.
But that's impressive. We only outscored them by 8 points. That's impressive for the Cavaliers, playing that. I don't want to take anything away from them, which obviously we're not. I mean, they deserve their spot over there. But I mean, just the little things, the nutrition, you're eating on the road most of the time. You're not sticking to your diet. It's these little things that add up.
That's not really true, but that's okay.
I mean, you're going to be eating Chipotle or Panera or something.
No. Not like that anymore. The players have their meals pretty much taken care of all the time on the road.
That's good to hear.
Always have a brunch at the hotel that is specifically ordered. They have Are there times when they will go eat on their own? Yes, but it's not like you think.
Can I ask you this before I hop off? Have you guys been hearing the Shannon Sharpe sayings? He says he says 3 things in a row, and then he says Lakers in 5. If you haven't seen it, I encourage you.
I'm not a fan of his, so I never watch him. I'm not a fan of Shannon Sharpe, so I wouldn't know what he says. I don't ever watch him.
Well, long story short, I was going to say I don't care if we play the 3 Musketeers, the Cleveland Cavaliers, or if we're swinging from a chandelier. Kings in 5. That's kind of what he does. He comes up with some old sayings and stuff like that. Yeah. So I'm sure there's some guys in the chat that get it. But thank you guys for having me on.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. I'm not even going to waste my time tonight. I'm getting right now to a rant with Grant. It is brought to you by EDH Motors Automotive Reimagined. David and Adam, just 2 guys trying to do something different and better. If you're looking to sell your vehicle, you've got the information right there. They will sell your vehicle for you. If you are in the market to buy, go to edhmotors.com and see what they can do for you. They can do it all. If you don't see what you're looking for, they'll get it for you with their decades of automotive experience. They are great at what they do. You'll take delivery at their beautiful auto lounge in the El Dorado Hills Town Center. Go to edhmotors.com. That's EDH Motors Automotive Reimagined. What the hell is going on with NBC Sports California? Like, does anyone over there have any idea about sports television? I've been talking about this for years. It's mind-boggling. It's mystifying to me how inept a network can be when it comes to decision-making. Just absolutely ineptitude. They don't have any idea how to televise a sporting event. It's embarrassing. It's absolutely embarrassing. It's a joke. What the hell was that tonight? I mean, I got my phone literally jumping off my table because it was on vibrate. I'm like, wait a minute, is there an emergency going on? It wouldn't stop. I mean, literally, it was like unbelievable. And I'm going, wait a minute. Then Ryan sends me a message and then sends me some video of the Kings telecast. And I'm like, what the hell is this? Then I'm looking at our chat line at halftime. I'm looking at social media. I'm looking at X. The fans hated it. Hey, NBC Sports California, stop with the bells and whistles and the stupid ass gimmicks. Televise the game. Don't reinvent the wheel. All right? Don't come up with stupid ideas. The fans don't want that. The fans want to watch the game without all of the nonsense. Seriously, your commentary is bad enough as it is. Now you're going to make it worse with these asinine camera angles. And what do you have a special name for it? I got the name for it. Well, I can't use that here on this show, but you know what I was going to call it. It's ridiculous. It is. Could they please hire someone to work in their San Francisco office that understands sports television? It's a joke. It's been this way for years. It's awful. It's a freaking embarrassment. Get with the program, would you please? Stop with the nonsense and just televise the damn game. And that's my rant for tonight.
What is that? Huh?
That was Kings fans tonight.
Unbelievable.
Good job by you. I mean, I challenge anybody to go try to walk a straight line after watching the first half of that game. It got better the second half, but
well, they stopped doing it. From what I saw on social media, after a few in the third quarter, I saw on social media they weren't going to do it anymore because they were getting their asses ripped.
Yeah, well, I guess you don't know until you try something, and definitely didn't work
Why
out.
try? Why try something when you have to ask yourself the basics? Here are the basics.
Okay.
Why do people turn on the TV to watch a game?
To watch the game.
Thank you. To watch the game, right? They don't want all the nonsense. They don't want their screen blocked with all of this stupid graphics. They don't want certain areas of the TV now covered up. They don't want things that don't make sense. They don't want to watch the game from Mars. They want to be able to turn on their TV and see what is going on. That's what they want. They don't want replays shown over live action. They want, and which the Kings do a good job on that. At least when I was there, Birdie was very good at that. We very rarely missed a basket. And if we did, it's because Birdie took the night off.
Was Birdie a good golfer?
I had never golfed with Mike Bird. Great question. I would hope he was, but I don't think Birdie had a lot of time for golf. But I'll tell you what he was. He was a hell of a boat driver. When we had a day off in Miami about 15 years ago, and he was our designated driver, we rented the boat from 9 in the morning until 5. Okay?
Yeah.
I can share this story now. So we stop at the store to buy our beverages for the day, right?
Sure.
And I wasn't really paying attention to what the other guys, there was, I think, 5 of us, and Birdie was the driver. We had a really nice boat for the day. It was 85 degrees, calm winds. We went everywhere. So we get off the boat at 5 o'clock, and there was one Coors Light left. And I'm like, hey, who wants to take this? They go, you take it. You were the only one drinking beer today. I said, what? They go, look, none of us were drinking beer today, only you.
How did you not notice that?
I didn't know. I wasn't really paying attention. So I had 23 Coors Lights, and I was from
you
9.
Had 23 Coors Lights
from 9 in the morning until 5 in the afternoon. Yeah.
Holy crap. What did your skin look like by the time you got off that boat?
What's that?
What'd your skin look like? You probably needed 23 bottles of aloe vera.
No, you know what? We were very careful with sunscreen and, that was not a problem. I'm very careful because I've had issues in the past with skin cancer. So I was careful, but I'll never forget that. Birdie was a great driver. It was fabulous. We had a great time, but yeah. And then we went back to the hotel, got cleaned up, and then we went to South Beach for the night. That was a really good night. That might've been 20 years ago. Might have even been more than 15. That was one of the best nights. That was one of the best days we've had on the road. Yeah. We had one Coors Light and they're like, Napes, you had 23 beers because no one else on the boat was drinking beer. I'm like, there's no way I had 23 beers.
Yeah, I wonder how everybody else remembers that day if it was that great. I mean, it couldn't have been bad for you. The only way the day gets better is if you have 24.
Yeah, well, I think I did have. I think I took it before we got. I don't even remember that. I was, you know what? I mean, over 8 hours. That's an average of basically 3 beers an hour.
Well, water.
It's not a strong beer.
Yes.
And, all I remember is standing on the edge of the boat peeing every 30 minutes. I do remember that.
Don't break the seal. Don't break the seal, Napes.
So Mike Bird's a great guy, close friend of mine, a consummate professional. And I can guarantee you Birdie was embarrassed by that tonight because I know Birdie. Anyway, let's get back on track. My bad.
No, I love it. Dirk, thanks for waiting, buddy.
Hey, cool story, Grant. But man, heck of a game tonight. Just the bench in general. Mm-hmm. I think the bench was awesome. Like Trey Lyles, to me, this was his best game of the year, even though he shot 1 for 4 from 3. But so impactful everywhere. And his
putback on DeMar DeRozan's missed shot was huge because that was a 2-point game at the time, or maybe a 1-point game. And, he was in a perfect position and put it back. So, yeah, he was good tonight. I would agree with you.
You know what caught the Cavs off guard? The guys were cutting. There were numerous times backdoor cuts. But anyways, go ahead, Dirk.
No, I think we've been talking about that all year, Ryan. Like, we would love to have backdoor cuts. It's amazing. Yep. And sure enough, it comes into play right here. I'm really liking that. I mean, I'm sure everyone's happy Devin Carter has a great game like this, but I think there's some real, almost like a interesting variable. Like if he can consistently perform well enough, not maybe to this extent, but we have a really good second unit defensively. I mean, I would like to call it like the Havoc unit. There's like put Keon Ellis, Devin Carter, Jake LaRavia, Keegan on the floor.
And it brings a lot of energy into the game. That's another thing. It creates instant energy.
And we saw it tonight. And I think we've been seeing it consistently in games where the Kings just put on this defensive stop where they just turn 3, 4, 5 possessions in a row. And right. I'm really excited by that. I hope it keeps happening. But that's all I got tonight. Go Kings.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much, Dirk. Thank you for the super chat, by the way.
Yes, we appreciate
Sean,
that.
We appreciate it. I'm not going to put that one up on the screen, though. Let's see. Maltese? Maltre?
Hello.
Hey,
Hello?
guys. I'm trying to show you the beam.
All right.
I'm going to lose my battery. It's Mater T, Todd Bullen.
Oh, awesome. What's up, Mater D?
I don't know if you're going to get this, but I'm trying to show you the beam, and I'm about to lose my battery. And I just want to say that tonight, even when the G-Man thought he might be wrong, when he thought he blew a call on Carter, and Jason can tell you about this, he was actually right when he thought he was wrong. That's how good the G-Man is. So hopefully you see this beam. I'm about to lose my battery, and what a great win, and I'll talk.
Thank you.
Guys. It's Mater T.
Thank you, buddy.
Mater T. We got it from now on.
By the way, and thank you. I want to let everyone know that's watching, in case you weren't aware, he's about to lose his battery. I don't know if you knew that, but I just wanted to let you know he is about to lose his battery.
I didn't catch that. Thanks.
Well, that's why I'm letting everyone know.
Well done. That's why you are a consummate professional.
Thank you.
Right there.
You know what? I try very hard to get the pertinent information out, such as New Works Plumbing for your plumbing needs and repairs. They've got a fix for you because they're available around the clock 24/7. There's the information on your screen. And again, thank you for those that have reached out, that have used New Works and complimented on what a great job they have done. I pass that along. They're very appreciative. We're appreciative. New Works Plumbing, again, for your plumbing needs and repairs. Make sure you save their contact information. New Works Plumbing, they've got a fix for you.
They will be at my house next week. So I'm looking forward to it. Baki, what's going on tonight?
Hey, Baki.
Hey, what's up, guys? Yeah, great win, great stuff. Almost unbelievable. I know that the Cavs are already in the playoffs and probably clinched the conference. They are 6 games above the Celtics.
Yeah, they're going to be the number 1 seed in the East. Yes, they're fighting for
probably. Yeah, but it was very strange tactics from them last night. Big game for the Clippers. I watched that game, and guess what? Boggy ripped them to the end, and the Kings tonight did it the same way in the paint. So let me be honest, I didn't expect that big IQ game from the Kings tonight. So I put my attention to the Cavs. They're a big size team, and they are really play the best game until now in the regular season. They move the ball great. They pick great shots, not only shooting like Boston, for example. They are shooting 50, 60 3-pointers on the, per game. So they are one of the top defensive teams, top 3-point shooting team. So all the numbers are with them, really. But what surprised me? Okay, go Ryno. I will go catch.
No, you brought up a great point. The Kings had 38 points in the paint in the second half. They only had 10 in the first half.
Yeah. What surprised me really tonight is how their defense, let's say, collapsed in the third and fourth quarter, because they mix between the zone. Maybe not that much, but they pull the players out to the line. So I don't know if I am the Cavs fan, I would really be pissed off tonight and surprised how you managed to put those guys, I mean, from the Kings, getting that much layups and that much second chance points from you have maybe like two towers down the rim. You
You know
have
what? We
Allen.
were not to make an excuse. They look like a tired team, and that's what happens
Yeah.
when you're
Yeah,
playing
yeah.
on the road and you're playing back to back and you're playing 3 games in 4 nights. I mean, that's part of the deal. Every team goes through it, but it's the reality of the situation.
Yeah, I would pay attention to that tomorrow or today when I it's today already when I see the game again, because when you have Allen and when you have Mobley down the rim and you allow guys to penetrate like that and doing
Yeah.
2 quarters successive stuff, then you realize something is really not going well. Maybe they are tired. I'm gonna see it again. So I'm very surprised by the win, but I'm not surprised. I mean, this is NBA. It's tough to win the game for them, for us, for everybody. So
Yep.
you okay, we maybe count them off tonight, but they fight like never before. Okay, I'm maybe 52-48 that this one was the biggest, bigger than the Boston. But okay, now when you say that they are tired, and Boston, they were not when we played against Boston in the Garden.
That game was a bigger win because you won at Boston.
Yeah, you won at Boston, and they were ready to beat you, but we played great games.
And they had healthy. Everyone was playing.
Yeah, they were healthy and they were rested. So I don't know. Maybe
Hey, the bottom line is it counts as a win, but it's a very big win in terms of confidence because you beat an elite team in the NBA, regardless of whether they played last night, regardless of whether it's a rough schedule, regardless of not having their all-star point guard. You beat a really good team tonight. That's not even debatable. You beat a very good team, and that should really help your confidence.
I think with the tiredness in play, I think what was most impressive is I'm looking at their season stats and I'm looking at the stats for tonight is tired or not. A lot of what Cleveland is very good at, the Kings are bad at. And the Kings took them out of certain things, 3-point shooting. The Kings outshot them in actual attempts. They had 35 attempts. The Cavs only had 34. They only took 6 in the third quarter. The Cavs usually take over 43s a game, 41.3. Same thing with free throws, Baki. The Cavs only took 18 free throws tonight. They usually take 22, meaning the Kings guarded a longer, more physical team without fouling. So it's those little things that you say, how does that carry over? How do you get that to go?
What would you say about pickups from the coach tonight? Because giving Carter was more than 30 minutes on the game, right?
Well, you had to.
He had to. He had no choice.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah. So no, it's great. I mean, for me, it's great when you find that spark that he got. How many steals? He's always
very
dangerous.
active.
Yeah, they changed the way they attack the rim because of the Carter. So they go around and they go around to another side just to and they almost forgot for the pick and roll. They just put it from the Mitchell and go side to side, and then Carter did a tremendous job.
I will make a prediction.
Thank you, Baki. We appreciate you calling.
Yeah, appreciate it, Baki. I will make a prediction that this is going to be with Devin Carter the rest of the year. This is going to be the Davion Mitchell rule. When Devin Carter gets 6, 7, 8 minutes, you're not going to see this Devin Carter. When he gets 20, 25,
I don't think he's going to get 20 or 25. I don't see how he could.
Well, Grant, I think that they have to look at also situations where maybe they can bring the starters' numbers down. If your defense is functioning at a level and you're able to do things like switch between 3 or 4 players, which you can't do with your starting lineup, that's where I put the onus on Doug Christie to find a way to find more minutes for the strengths on your team.
Hard to do when you only have a handful of games left. But yeah, I understand your point. You know what else is interesting tonight? The Phoenix Suns are ahead of the Dallas Mavericks, and they're now 10th in the standings. And I don't have a crystal ball any more than you do, but it sure looks like that the play-in is going to be Sacramento and Phoenix, a 1-game, 48 minutes, the loser goes on summer vacation. That's what it's looking like right now. I'm forecasting the fact that Dallas is not going to be there. Phoenix has got a brutal schedule, but because Dallas is really in a world of hurt, that to me is what it's going to look like. And my dark horse, if I can go here,
Please.
all right, is because of this, and I'm only doing this because of the schedule, okay? Phoenix has 37 wins, Portland has 39. And Portland has a much easier schedule than Phoenix. A couple of weeks ago, I would have said I'm not even worried about Portland, and I'm still not worried about them. I think, but because of the schedule that the Suns have, their schedule is brutal. Because Dallas is not going to be there. I just don't see how. Don't rule out Portland, but right now, to me, it looks like Sacramento and Phoenix are going to be playing in the play-in.
This is what we did at the exact same time last year with Houston. You remember when Houston was making their run? We're like, oh, are they going to creep up? They had a heck of a second half of the season. I think, assuming it comes to Sacramento and Phoenix, Grant, that game just comes down to 3-point shooting.
Yes, it does. It comes down to Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Grayson Allen, and it comes down to Zach LaVine. It comes down to Malik Monk. It comes down to, what I like about that matchup. If it's going to happen, the Kings now have a variety of different ways they can match up with Devin Booker and some of these other players. I mean, Durant is Durant. If Durant's on, he's really not guardable. But now you've got a way to attack Booker, and I think you have a way to cover Grayson Allen. So, if you're looking a couple of weeks ahead, the Kings are better suited to match up with them.
Was LaRavia out against Phoenix? Was that the night he missed because of the knee soreness?
I can't remember.
Okay, pick us up in the chat, because I would be interesting to see how Doug would use LaRavia against Durant, considering how he used him against Jokic. But in the meantime, let's get back to the phones. Jeff, Texas, how you doing?
What's up, y'all?
What's up, y'all?
Hey, so I'm going to say my comment, and then I have a really quick story, if you don't mind me telling after.
Sure.
All right, so I love the fact that this team has struggled with an identity all year long, and still looking forward, I believe, but I love that the second unit is starting to get that identity, where the other team is not looking forward to when the second unit comes in. And one thing I love about Devin Carter, he's got a long ways to go, but that he never lets his offense affect his defense. He's always plays hard. One thing you can count on. I mean, a lot of guys play hard, but I just like his resilience in that way.
It's a good point. It's a very good point. It's like a batter. It's like a major league player who's slumping at the plate, who can't put the bat on the ball, but it's a Gold Glove fielder. It's a similar thing. You're right. It does not let him affect his defense. That's a good point.
It's Keon and Keegan. It's a third mate.
Yeah.
All right. So my story real quick is my daughter about 14 years ago called Grant's radio show, and she was, I think, 10 or 11 at the time, and her and Grant talked for about 5 minutes, and after she got off the phone with Grant, he talked about how respectful and how good she was, and that she must have great parents, and very, very complimentary. And she's 20, almost 25 now.
Wow.
She still talks about that every single day.
How about that?
I got this here, Grant. This was
wow. Oh,
a picture of you two.
I love that.
And
I love that.
Still, and when the Kings let you go, you talk about a pissed off woman. And not to age you, but that same little girl here is due in October with my grandson. So
congratulations. Please give her my best and tell her that what you just told me touches me. So tell her that the fact that 5-minute phone call impacted her and she still talks about it and you still talk about it here in 2025 is the reason why I still do this show, and the reason why I love talking to fans like you and so many others in Northern California. You're the reason why. Your daughter's the reason why. And so I just want to say thank you very much.
No problem.
Please thank her for me.
I will, but I'm not going to mention the fact that right after her phone call, I called Dan and you let me have it. And you told me this from now on, have your daughter call and not you.
Holy moly, Zimbabwe.
Thank you guys. I love y'all. Good job.
Love you, man. Thank you. How great is that?
Oh my gosh, that is
Was
awesome.
that beautiful or what?
Did he say first grandson?
First grandson. How great is that?
Wonder if there's going to be. Is it going to be Grant?
You know what's amazing? And I'm not talking about me here. Boy, I hope not. Because this has happened to all of us. I remember the 5-minute one-on-one that I had with Marv Albert at Madison Square Garden when I was in 8th grade. That was arranged by the late Dick McGuire, the Al McGuire, Frank McGuire, Dick McGuire, legendary basketball people. And Dick, through a high school friend of mine, or a junior high school friend of mine at the time, arranged for me to meet my idol before a Knicks game. And it was one of the few Knicks games I ever had gone to because you couldn't get tickets. And these people, my friends, Tommy Oakes, they had tickets for the Knicks. And so they invited me and I got a chance to meet Marv. And to this day, all right, I was what, 14 years old then? To this day, I remember what I was wearing, where at Madison Square Garden I was standing when I was talking to Marv. And it had such a profound impact on me when Marv ended the conversation by saying, follow your dreams, keep working, keep doing as much as you can, and don't give up, follow your dreams. That 5-minute conversation that I had with Marv that evening before the Knicks game at Madison Square Garden had a profound impact on my life. So I get it. But sometimes you're not aware when you're talking to somebody what impact that's going to have on their life. Not to get off on a tangent, but Sean Salisbury came on my podcast and talked about Christmas morning when he was at rock bottom. And that entire story of meeting Russell on the side of the highway, homeless. And he talked about not only how that changed Russell's life, but really the impact that it had on Sean. That at that point, Sean was like, why am I feeling sorry for myself? This guy's on the side of a highway on Christmas morning and has nothing. And Sean basically turned his whole life around. Shortly after that conversation, I got a long direct message on Twitter at the time, now X, but Twitter. And I'm paraphrasing here, but it was a 42-year-old guy who told me that after listening to Sean's story, that he had a completely different perspective and that he was getting ready to give up, had lost all contact with his family, was literally at rock bottom, and really was thinking about ending his life. And after listening to that conversation, he had a new purpose. He had a new perspective. And so when you talk to people, whether I'm interviewing someone or whether you're meeting someone at the store or whatever the case may be, you don't understand at the time when you're having that conversation what impact it may have. Also, we talk about an impact in a negative way. I told you the story about Reggie Jackson at Cleveland in 1978 with that little boy. I guarantee you, if that boy who's now a man would come on our show, he would remember that vividly and how that impacted him in a certain way. I don't know how it would have impacted him, but you wouldn't be human if that did not impact you. So don't ever lose sight of that.
I'm going to follow up something you said here in a second because I think it's pertinent and I want to share it as well. Amazing stuff, by the way. First, let's get to Rich in San Diego. What's up, Rich?
Hey, guys. How we doing?
Hey, Rich. How are you? How's your health, buddy? You all good?
Hey, man. I'm doing good, man. Last time I had a PSA, it went to 1.2, man.
Wow.
Yeah, big change. So
wow.
Thank you for asking. I'm doing great.
I'm happy to hear that, Rich. We're all happy. We're all big fans of yours. We appreciate your loyalty to the show and you being such a big Kings fan.
Yeah, thank you very much. I was in Sacramento. I was in Sacramento last weekend, and
I saw that.
yeah, and I actually went and it was really kind of amazing because I took my younger sister, who I stayed with, to the card shop over there in Rockland. You know, where they have the cards and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she looks up and she goes, "Look at that! Look at that up there! Look at that! There's a like a it looks like a king's what?" And I go, "Wait a minute, that's Scott Pollard." And the owner of the store, he goes, "You like Scott Pollard?" I said, "I've been following Scott Pollard for the last year," and he gave me the bobblehead of Scott Pollard.
Love it.
Yeah. And
Love
so it was just amazing weekend. I was at the game on Monday night, and it was awesome, man.
Good.
And yeah, so I got home 2 days ago, and to watch tonight's game was really nice. So let's get on a roll.
Yep.
And
Never
I
too late
stayed
to
up
get on a
tonight.
roll.
Yeah, I stayed up tonight to listen to you guys, and it's past my bedtime, man. 10:10, man. I normally go to bed 10, but it's good to see you both. And
Thank you.
and I know Grant, you're later on than I am, man.
Yeah, absolutely. It's okay, man. You know what? I get to sleep in the morning, so don't worry about me. I'm fine.
Yeah, you're still getting your laps in on the pool?
Yeah, quite often, as much as I can. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, I swam 32 lengths today, and I rode
Wow.
about 10.5 miles.
Well, I'm not you, Rich. I'm Grant. But you know, thank you for making me feel so bad where I was proud of myself. You just brought me down a couple notches on the ladder. So thank you for that, Rich.
All right, brother. Hey, you know, you gotta have a goal, man. Hey,
All right, buddy.
Be
all
well.
right. You guys take care.
Thank you.
Grant,
Well-
what you shared about Marv Albert, let me take everybody to January 6th, 2017. There's two people that I idolized when it came to radio, traditional radio, business. Jim Rome and Grant Napier. One national, one local. You two were my guys. If I ever did it, those were the guys that I kind of wanted to be with. Those were the guys that I wanted to be around. Little did I know in the studio with Jim Rome that day, I was going to do 5 minutes with Jim Rome, sitting at a table in front of 50, 60 live people, Peja Stojakovic, Vlade Divac, Uriah Faber, and talk about the Kings, talk about opening Golden One Center. And you, my friend, were a guest that day. You weren't at the studio yet. You were a guest. Hour number 3. I remember stepping down from doing the 5 minutes with Rome, talking with Hawk. Great job. Everybody in the crowd, high fives. You walk into the studio. You say your highs to some people, and you beeline for me during a commercial break. You knew what I was wearing because Jim Rome said that I was in Seattle Seahawks stuff.
That's right.
And you said, I just got to come up to you and tell you, you did an incredible job representing Sacramento. So your Marv Albert moment, while it was between two people, you and Jim Rome, that was my moment that lit the flame for me. And that's that day. That's that picture right there.
I love it. I absolutely love it. That's great.
You came up to me. You didn't have to do that.
And look where you are right now.
Yeah. So thank you. Thank you.
That's a great story. Love it. I remember that. I remember that day because that was so special to have Jim in our studios, you know, doing a live chat with all the fans and having Vlade and Peja there and Uriah Faber. And that was a big time day for us at the radio station.
It's a massive day. Absolutely.
Look who we have.
Alex.
Hey, how you guys doing tonight?
Hey, Alex, how are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. So first and foremost, I want to thank you guys for sharing those stories. Both of you, those are pretty, you know, awesome, inspirational stories. It kind of shows you that, you know, that kind of stuff is bigger than basketball. We all get here, you know, to talk about the Kings and all that. But I mean, those are some great stories you guys shared. Even that last one with Ryno in the picture, you know, that was like foreshadowing. That was great. So thank you for sharing that.
Of course. Thank
you.
It
kind of triggered one from me, and I might have even said it before, but I was at the last game at Arco Arena, and we were leaving the arena, and then Jerry Reynolds is walking around like nobody's business, and I run into him like, "Oh, Jerry, what's up?" I kind of fangirl out a little bit, and he smiles, he gives me a hug like he knew me, and talked to me for about 5 minutes. And to me, that felt like an eternity. I'm like, this guy, to me, I was putting him on a pedestal because Jerry's a legend. But he, like I said, he hugged me and talked to me for a few minutes, and he didn't have to do that at all. And I don't talk about it every day, but I do bring it up at least once a week to whoever is around me. So, I'm sure there's plenty of those stories about Jerry Reynolds, but yeah, that meant a lot to me.
Awesome. Love to hear stuff like that. And I'm not surprised. That's how Jerry lives his life every day.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, no, of course. But yeah, great win today. I was, pretty close to putting it with the Celtic game, but the Celtic game to me is still the best one of the season, only because at the time, different roster, Fox, who was our best player at the time, he didn't play that game, and it was in Boston. So that's the only reason I put it above this game. But this is still a great win, obviously.
Yeah,
no matter what great win. So all I ask for the team is, I was at a low point at that Suns game because we on paper, obviously you don't win games on paper, but on paper the Kings I think are better than the Suns, and it was just the effort was non-existent. And I mean, us as Kings fans, we're lunch pail, grindy type fans, and all we ask for is effort. You know what I mean? So seeing today's game, So seeing today's game, really made me happy. It didn't matter who we're playing. I just want to see the effort, So I'm also, happy about the win. Hopefully they carry it in to tomorrow, because if they lay an egg against the Bulls, it's gonna, kind of erase this win.
Thank you very much. We appreciate you coming on and sharing that story greatly. You have a good evening. I want to tell you about Connor at Element Mortgage, and you see the QR code right there. You'll get all the information you need on Connor. And if you're a real estate agent, listen up. If you need a lender who works as hard for your clients as you do, Connor is your guy. Let me tell you something. He's going to get your deal done for you, and he'll keep you informed at every step of the loan process. It makes the process easy for your buyers. Reach out to him today. I'm going to put the number up on the screen if you don't want to go to the QR code. 916-505-1006. A guy that you can trust with so much experience behind his belt. That's Connor at 916-505-1006. And I can guarantee you one thing. He is pumped with a capital P tonight after the Kings had a signature win against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Give him a call, 916-505-1006.
No doubt. And the man pulling those strings, Doug Christie, took the podium just a few minutes ago. Here's what he had to say about the win.
Devin Carter, welcome to the damn NBA. Big time. Big time, big time. Devin brings the physicality, the swagger, the confidence, all the things that as a coach, I just speak for myself, like that I expect out of my team. There's a calmness and a competition in him. My grandma used to say, still waters run deep, and he brought it big time.
He's been good. I think he's had spurts this year.
So there you go. Doug Christie, high praise, Grant, of Devin Carter.
Well, it probably reminds Doug of how he used to play.
He's got a couple of those guys. If Devin can do that every night, Keon, same build.
And I'll tell you what else. If this continues, it may very well save mine and McNair's job.
You think so? That's a show in itself right there.
It could. Okay. Again, you know what? We're not going to judge this team in April when they're getting ready to go into the play-in on what they did on March 19th or whatever the day is against Cleveland. This team is going to be judged on whether they make the playoffs or not. That's what they're going to be judged on. And if they don't make one of the top 8 seeds, then we know what the narrative's going to be. We know what the talk's going to be. That's how this team's going to be judged.
And I wonder, as a side note, how the curve on how this team is judged looks like between everything that's happened this season. I wonder how that's applied to the final result.
Biggest mistake that franchises make is evaluating a team towards the end of the season. It's the biggest mistake that teams make and we'll talk about this with Jerry when we have him on again. It's the biggest mistake that teams make with individuals and with their outlook moving forward. In the final 4 to 5 weeks of a season, franchises make big mistakes on personnel decisions and team decisions because they get swayed by, oh, we got momentum. Oh, we got this going in, but they don't want to, acknowledge what happened in the previous 4 months.
Sure. Still need a point guard, regardless of how good Devin is playing.
Yeah. No, I think we all know that.
Yeah. Rajan, thanks for waiting.
Hello, Grant. I just have one question. Do you think we did better without Jake LaRavia, Zach LaVine, and Domantas Sabonis?
Well, I'll answer your question this way. Maybe for one game, having Zach LaVine not play, and we saw Devin Carter play, yes, but over a long period, which is 2, 3, 4, 5, and onward, this team is not better, no way in the world, without those players on the floor. Maybe tonight they were, but not over the long haul.
I could see in the future that we would need those players. So,
yes, you're going to need them big time because that's the NBA, and you're also going to have a player get banged up now and then, or maybe not be in the game. But I think Ryan made this point. They probably don't win the game tonight if Zach LaVine plays the minutes and Devin Carter plays 8 to 10 minutes. So Devin Carter, to me, was the reason why the Kings won the game tonight.
Okay, well.
How old are you? How old are you?
I am about to be 11, so I'm 10
Wow.
years old.
Wow. Well, I got to tell you, you asked a really good question, and I'm happy that you're brave enough to get on with us and talk. So that's awesome. When's your birthday?
March 24th. It's going to happen soon.
Oh, well,
early birthday.
Happy birthday. You're going to be 12, huh?
No, 11.
Oh, you're going to be 11. You're 10 now. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Wow.
So, Rajan, how long have you been a Kings fan?
All my life, basically.
What's your favorite Kings moment during your lifetime?
I would say I really don't know. I actually really don't know.
Well, hopefully you will have a lot of great memories in the future. And on behalf of all of us on this channel, I want to wish you a very, very happy birthday. And call again sometime, would you please?
Sure, maybe.
Okay. You take care.
That's Grant,
that's awesome. Thank you.
That is awesome. That makes it worth it right there.
Just love it.
That is so cool.
Love it.
So cool. What a great way to end the night. Good night. Great night.
Man, it is a great night, but I'll tell you what also is great, and you know this because we
don't do it
all the time.
Don't do it to me. They're closed.
Prime seafood and steaks, whether it's the Sacramento, Roseville, or Bennett's West Side Grill in Rockland. Please go say hello to Brian and his staff and enjoy their great prime seafood and steaks. Don't forget about their weekend brunch. You go to Bennett'sRestaurants.com. That's Bennett'sRestaurants.com. And as good as those pictures look, doesn't do it justice. Their food is so freaking good. Again, Bennett's West Side Grill or Sacramento or Roseville, same great prime seafood and steaks. Go to Bennett'sRestaurants.com.
Hey, and dads out there, sons out there, Mother's Day is coming up. Get your reservations early. Place you want to be. Brunch on the weekends. I think Tedora might have some competition with Rajan now.
Holy moly, Zimbabwe.
I love it. The name was Ricky, who I am still very much in touch with. Ricky used to call the show at a very young age, and Ricky was, and I'm not exaggerating when I say this, he was at genius status, and I'm not exaggerating. He was one of the most brightest, smartest human beings, even to this day, that I've been around. I remember asking Ricky. I had him come into the studio one day because everyone loved him, and he was about Rajan's age. And I asked him, I go, "What do you want to be when you get older?" He goes, "I want to be a neurosurgeon."
Whoa.
Yeah. And he didn't end up going to medical school, but he's extremely successful in life. Ricky, if you're watching, I love you, man. Ricky Gill, what a great man. And to watch him grow up before our eyes, he used to call the show all the time, and he was just so darn smart. He was so smart that other callers used to call up and go, "You need to get Ricky as a co-host." No, really. No, I'm not. I'm not even exaggerating.
Yeah.
Like Ricky at an early age, you're like, wow, this kid is 8 years old and is embarrassing me with his his knowledge of everything and his word. I mean, Ricky had a vocabulary as a 10-year-old that I still don't have at age 65. I mean, it was incredible. Sometimes I had to go, I don't understand that word. He is a bright, bright, bright mind. Love Ricky. Hey, before we go, I do want to let you know about Sunrise Landing in Calusa. You go to CalusaSunrise.com and you can get all the information on their beautiful models from Blazona Development. Remember, no Mellorews, no homeowners. It is adjacent to the Calusa Golf and Country Club. Good access to the major roads like I-5, 45, 20. So check it out. Go to CalusaSunrise.com and get all the information that you need. We talk about the youth and how many young people that I have met over the years that still there was a young boy, Joseph. Joseph was another incredible soul whose dad used to take him to the games at time. And he would come down and I would sit at the broadcast table with him and put a headset on and we would take photos. And Ricky shows up. Joseph shows up one day with a big UNICEF orange box filled with money because the Kings were raising money for UNICEF. And I'm like, wow, this is unbelievable. It was completely full. And I walked him across the floor to Scott Moak, who was handling all of this at the time. And whenever whenever Joseph would come to the games, he'd always bring another UNICEF box. And his favorite player and person was Vlade Divac. And so I had him walk out to center court when Vlade was the GM and take a picture. And he happened to be wearing the 21 Kings jersey that night. I go, Vlade, come here.
Wow.
And Vlade would always talk to him whenever he saw him. And he ended up being a standout. He was a boxer. People might remember Joseph. He used to box. And then he was a really good football player. And unfortunately, had a really serious knee injury his last year playing high school football. And I've stayed in touch with him and his dad. He just got married. He just overcame a battle with cancer at a very young age. And he's one of the guys. I have a picture of Joseph in a purple hard hat, in a jacket and tie that he wore to the groundbreaking ceremony for the Golden One Center. He was a very special occasion. And I invited him to be at the special occasion as a little boy. And he came dressed so well. He had a jacket and tie on. He had his purple King's hard hat that we all had to wear on the construction site.
Yeah.
And I still have a picture from that day of me and Joseph. So like you meet special people. Ricky calling my show, I knew right away he was special. When I got to meet Joseph, I knew he was special. And there are so many other boys and girls that I've met along the way at either Arco or Golden One Center that you just knew were special, and you knew that they were going to grow up to be very successful people because you just could see it at an early age. And I love that. When I see a young person who I can look at and go, wow, you're like, this is going to be a special individual. Like you see a wow boy or girl at that age. I love that. I absolutely love that.
I would love for you to do an episode of your podcast just on some of those stories, some of the people that you met, some of the younger generation that had an impact. Think about that. They had an impact on you.
I have, it won't show up if I show it to you. I have a photo that I saved from the Golden One Center. Before the game, this cutest little girl walked up to me, and she had obviously spent a lot of time on her sign. It was, if you don't like that, you don't like NBA basketball, in all different colors. And it was so creative and it was so nice. And I'll put it on my social media account at some point. I have it here. You won't be able to see it on the screen, but like, that touched me, that she spent that much time to make her sign. And I took a beautiful photograph with her that I put out on social media at the time, talking about how special she was. And we spent a couple minutes. I don't know if this will show up or not. That won't show up. See it there?
Barely. Send it to me and we'll get it up for our next show.
Yeah.
We'll put it up.
I mean, it was so nice in all different colors. And I took a picture with her right before the game. And I just sent it to you. It's one of my favorite photos that I've ever taken with a fan. I loved it. She was so happy. She had the biggest smile on her face. I signed her poster for her, talked to her for a couple of minutes. And I was just like, wow. Like, when you see the picture, Ryan, you're like, wow, she spent a lot of time on that. That wasn't just something she did in 2 minutes. Isn't that beautiful?
It is. And, that was in our first season of If You Don't Like That. That was in your top 10 countdown.
Yes, it was. Thank you. It was. I put her on my top 10 countdown. Thank you. That's a good memory. Yes.
We'll put it up in just 2 seconds.
Yeah, it was one of my favorite, if not favorite, pictures I've ever taken with a young fan. And I have a lot of them, but that one I saved and I cherished, just like I cherished the photo with Joseph at the groundbreaking ceremony of Golden One Center that day, because it was so special to me, because I knew that arena would have a profound impact in his life as he got older and then had his own family, and that's where he would be taking them. But yeah, there it is. Yeah. How about that? Look how beautiful that sign is, and look at how cute she is with that picture way before the game. You can see there's not many people there. She got there as soon as the doors opened and came right up to me, and we had a really nice visit. But to this day, that's one of my favorite pictures I've ever had taken with a fan at a Kings game. Love that.
It's beautiful. You
Isn't that
couldn't
great?
you couldn't have posed it better.
It's just phenomenal, isn't it? I'm so happy that I have that photo. I'm so happy that I have that photo. All right. What a great night. What a fabulous night. A signature win for the Kings over the Cavaliers. And now they'll do it again tomorrow. Will there be Jake LaRavia? Will there be Zach LaVine going against his former mates? The Bulls played tonight. They lost in Phoenix. They're also going to be playing their third game in 4 nights. The difference is all of their games have been on the road, which is very taxing. I'm expecting another big night from Sacramento tomorrow, but every time I say that, I end up biting my tongue.
Yeah, you know what? If you get this group, a performance like this, it's infectious. This is something that carries over, that type of hustle. So I'm encouraged by what we'll probably see tomorrow night.
Pre-game, halftime with Jerry, post-game tomorrow. We'll do it all over again. Ryno, appreciate you.
Appreciate you too, Grant.
Great show tonight. Love the calls, love the feedback. And I'm going to just end it this way. Oh, if you don't like that, you don't like NBA basketball. Oh, boy. Have a good night, everybody.